Right, still learning these things, just faffed around with my mic for 5 minutes, but it's on and it's linked and it's working, and that's a win. So, good morning, Hons. My name's Emma. I live in Auckland, New Zealand, and today I thought I'd take you through my routine that I do at the end of every week on a Sunday to get me prepped for the week ahead. And I prep my breakfasts, my lunches, and plan ahead my dinners. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to be prepping my lunches and my breakfasts and a few other bits and bobs just so I can feel ahead of things, and thought I'd take you along with me. So first step I usually do when creating these lists, I'm a creature of habit. So my breakfast and my lunch at the moment have been relatively repetitive. So I've been making a quiche for my lunch every single lunch, and this cuts into 4 pieces, which basically feeds me Monday through to Thursday. And then I'll either go and have lunch out with the gals or friends or workmates or something at any point during the week, which sort of fills up that 5th space, or I just end up getting something easy, cheap and quick from down the road. The other element that I make, or should I say that I prep every single week, is my breakfast. That's something I've learned to do, given I try and squeeze so much into my morning routine with my Pilates classes and walks and runs and things that I try to do to just try and keep the mind at ease. I do all that exercise for the noggin, that's for sure. So normally that's sitting there prepped and ready to go, so that when I come back from my class or whatever I've done that morning, I just grab it, plonk it into a bowl, and then put some fruit or something on top of it, and then we're good to go. So, overnight oats, quiche, and a few other little preppy bits that I'll do in order to keep myself feeling ahead of the game going into the week. Other than the ingredients that I'll need for my quiche and my overnight oats, I'll also be prepping some stewed apple to put on top of that, which I dollop after I've prepped it out or taken it out for the day. And I've been making yogurt from scratch this year because I got really fixated on the protein yogurt. I'll put pictures here and here of which ones they are. And honestly, it's a bit of a scam, I think. So I was easily spending on special $8 a bottle on these yogurts. So I've decided to start making my own using the Easy Yo contraption, which basically just incubates the sachet of yogurt and water, and then turns it into a kilo of yogurt. So it's great. And those are only $4. So I'm just trying to save money and live a little bit more like a trad wife, even though I work a 9 to 5, so go figure. And then the final thing I want to do is try and find a use to use up these oranges. They're starting to get a little bit past it, and I don't like wasting food. So whether I make an orange loaf or some orange poppy seed muffins or something, so that we can add it to our lunches and it's just a good grab and go snack. So I will be popping out to the supermarket shortly to grab a few items in rotation for our week. And then in the afternoon, I'll take you through everything I do to get prepped for the week ahead. Right, so here we go, hopping in the car and getting ready to go to the supermarché. The shopping list that I wrote consisted of course, all the ingredients that I required for the quiche and all the other bits and pieces that I was going to make for that week, as well as all those random things that you need at the end of each week, most importantly including coffee. Once I had grabbed everything I'd needed from the supermarket, packed it all up, and popped it in the car and headed home. Haha, gotcha. I'm a naturally very busy person, so I think me spending the weekend organising a whole bunch of meals and just keeping myself super busy is just the way that I relax, the old classic active relaxer. The first thing I decided to get into were the orange poppy seed muffins, and all I did was Google a recipe on the internet. I'll link that below, but it was fairly simple, just flour, baking soda, baking powder, some salt, poppy seeds, and I also did white sugar and ran out, so I used up some coconut sugar to make up for it. Then the wet ingredients mixed in, so the eggs, the rind of my extremely dry old oranges that I was trying to use up, which was a bit of a mission, but we got there. And then I cut them all up and made sure I juiced every single one of them and got every part that I could get out so I could add it into the recipe and use them up. This required a little bit of elbow grease, but that was totally fine. I then realized I had not put enough flour in the recipe, and I quickly added some more and then gave it all a mix through. This whisk I bought, I tried to get a really fancy one from KitchenAid, and it is honestly the worst whisk I've ever owned. So definitely in the market for a new one. I think the like silicone little whiskey part isn't brilliant, so got to find a metal one at some point. Then I dished out the mixture in this muffin tin, and I lined it with these like little brown muffin holders that I found in the supermarket. The muffin tin I have makes 12, but I ended up cooking this batch and then having a little bit left over, so I think I got another 4 out of the mixture I had left over. And I just popped that in the oven and let it cook. While I was waiting for that, I tried the orange juice I made myself, which was a dismal amount after all of that muscle work, squeezing all the oranges, but that's okay. And then got cracking into the yogurt. Fairly simple. You just fill it up halfway with like lukewarm water, add in the mixture, give it a mix, fill it up for the rest of the height of there's a little line in the container. Then you fill up the like incubator part with like boiling hot water and place the tub inside the larger tub like a series of Russian dolls, and then it's good to sit on the bench till the morning. I then decided to go ahead and prep my apple stew, whatever you want to call this, but that's just what I call it for ease. Apple stew is super easy. I just cut all of the cores out of the apples and then dice them very loosely. They're probably a little bit bigger than probably like 2 centimeter wide cubes-ish, but honestly, they can all be big, small, whatever. It doesn't matter. And I just pop that all in a pan and then add loads of cinnamon, and there you go, loads of cinnamon and some water. And that is all the ingredients I put in that. I don't add any sugar to it. And then you just need it on low and slow for basically the rest of the afternoon, and it's good to go. I saw a thing on the internet once that apparently cooking down your apples is better for soluble fiber, and I've just decided that that's how I like my apples now, purely from that one video. Next thing I decided to crack into was the quiche. And whenever I say the word quiche, I think of Summer Heights High, that TV show with that fancy girl named Jamie. And she said, that's her quiche. So now I'm putting that in your brain too. I have put in eggs, some roasted kumara I had, and I just had some leftovers from a previous meal. So I just kept that and popped it in this. Some peas, some carrot. Oh, some courgette, and basically any veggies I have in the fridge. This isn't a set recipe. It's just a good way to clean out the fridge and like maximize that veggie in the everyday lunch. Chopped up all the spinach. This stuff cooks down so much, so even if it looks like a lot of volume, it cooks down loads. Gordon must have walked past me when I was sorting that out, giving him a nice smile. And yeah, then I added in the pre-cooked shredded chicken, which I find is a lot easier. You don't want to go relying on uncooked chicken in there just in case. I then put the whole entire mixture and sort of pack it down in there. Like I said, it does reduce down a wee bit once you've popped it in the oven. And then you got to have cheese. You got to have cheese on everything, but specifically your quiches. So then that's all ready to go in the oven and cook for, I don't know, just till the top's nice and golden. So it's the evening now. The kitchen is clean, finally, and I have a quiche for lunch, and I have all my breakfast and all the other added extras all sorted as well. Absolute bliss having to not think about that for the rest of the week. It's fantastic. Thanks for essentially spending this time with me on the internet today. I really appreciate it. And I want to say thank you to my friends who have so far with the videos spent time watching and giving genuine, thoughtful feedback to me. I really appreciate it, and it means a lot. So I guess I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, team.